You ever feel like we're living in a political sitcom with no laugh track? Because right now, Australia's being run like a joke, and the punchline's on us. Albo's out here playing international diplomat like he's hosting Eurovision, and meanwhile, Aussies back home are just trying to afford groceries without selling a kidney. Let me break it down without the sugarcoat. Albanese just recognized Palestine as a state. Yeah, that happened. And the fallout? Absolute chaos. Not just internally, but globally. America's furious, and not just the usual bureaucrats sending stern emails. I'm talking Trump-level fury. The man's back in the Oval Office, and he's not the forgiving type. You remember how he treats people he doesn't like? Now imagine where that leaves us. This wasn't some strategic masterstroke. This was virtue signaling on steroids. Elbow thought he could sneak it past while no one was looking. Probably hoped the Americans would be too distracted with their own chaos to notice. But nah, mate. They noticed. Letters are flying. Senators are fuming. Ted Cruz, Tom Cotton, Stefanik, these aren't nobodies. These are people who can make things happen. And what are they saying? Punish Australia. Not have a quiet word. Not reconsider. Punish. That's the word they used. And while all that's going down, Aussies are drowning in cost of living pressure. Power bills through the roof. Rents cooked. Groceries are borderline luxury items. And our PM's out there trying to win international applause like he's auditioning for a Nobel Peace Prize. It's bloody insulting. Now, before we go further, smash that like button if you're tired of watching our leaders treat the country like their personal PR agency. Subscribe if you reckon we need politicians who actually work for us, not some global round table of suits in faraway cities. And if you ever caught yourself yelling, "Who voted for this?" There's a shirt for that. Links in the description. Here's the real kicker. While Albo's playing world savior, Sussan Ley is quietly loading the political shotgun. She just grabbed the Liberal leadership and she's not wasting time. She's not perfect, but next to Albo, she looks like a bloody gladiator. And don't think she won't use this Palestine stunt as a battering ram all the way to the next election. She's already dropping subtle bombs, talking about national security, alliances, economic resilience. She's framing Albo as soft on China, weak on defense, and too focused on impressing the UN instead of protecting Australians. And honestly, it's sticking. Because let's be real, when you're feeding your kids baked beans 5 nights a week and watching mortgage rates jump like a kangaroo on Red Bull, do you care what the PM's saying in Geneva? Not one bit. You care about survival, not symbolism. And the Americans, they're not buying Elbo's act either. They're calling it what it looks like, siding with terrorists. That's the perception. Doesn't matter if you agree or not. That's how it's playing. And perception on the global stage, that's everything, especially with Trump. He doesn't do nuance. He does loyalty and retribution. If Albo gets a meeting with Trump, which is already being downgraded to a hallway chat, you better believe it won't be friendly. Trump's going to tear into him. Not behind closed doors either. The cameras will be rolling. He'll call him weak. He'll mock him. He'll make an example out of him. And Australia will wear the consequences. Let's not pretend this is just about Palestine. This is about the direction Australia is heading. We're gagging online speech. We're cutting defense spending. We're cozying up to China. We're taking in thousands of Gaza refugees with zero consultation. All while the average Aussie can't buy a home, can't pay the bills, and can't get a straight answer from Canberra. And who's laughing? China. They're loving this. The more we drift from the U.S., the more vulnerable we become. Albo's playing checkers. Xi Jinping's playing chess. Every move we make toward Beijing is one step away from our biggest and most powerful ally. And who benefits from that? Not us. Let me throw a little grenade in the mix. What if this whole thing is part of a bigger setup? What if weakening our alliance with the U.S. is exactly what Beijing's banking on? Look at the pattern. More Chinese students. More Chinese investors. More Chinese influence in our universities, infrastructure, media. We're becoming dependent, and dependency leads to control. Meanwhile, Trump and his crew see the writing on the wall. And they're not going to sit back and watch one of their closest allies get pulled into the orbit of their biggest rival. And if they decide to slap sanctions on us, it won't be theoretical. It'll be real. Exports blocked. Military deals frozen. Trade talks dead in the water. And who'll cop it? Not the politicians. Not the big corporates. It'll be the battlers. The farmers. The tradies. The local businesses already hanging by a thread. This is bigger than political theater. This is national survival. And Elbow's acting like he's on a press tour. Now let's talk about what happens next. Ley's going to ride this wave. She'll hammer him on national security. She'll hammer him on cost of living. She'll hammer him on being out of touch. And the scary part? She won't even have to stretch the truth. The facts are doing the work for her. But here's what really makes my blood boil. It's the disconnect. The politicians prance around in suits, sipping lattes, talking about global responsibility while Aussies are getting evicted. Families skipping meals, small businesses folding, and the government's priority, making headlines overseas. It's not just bad leadership. It's betrayal. It's selling out the country for clout. And don't say, oh, it's just politics. Nah, this is bigger than politics. This is about whether Australia continues to be a proud, sovereign nation that stands with its allies and protects its people, or whether we keep sliding into irrelevance while pretending we're moral leaders on the world stage. So what's the answer? Honestly, I don't know. But I do know this, what we're doing right now, isn't it? If Albanese keeps chasing international applause while ignoring the people who actually elected him, we're stuffed. If we lose America as an ally, we're isolated. If we lean too hard on China, we're compromised. And if we keep pretending everything's fine, we're delusional. It's time to wake up. Time to speak up. Time to stop letting career politicians gamble with the future of this country like it's just another press release. Hit that like button if you're with me. Share this with your mates. And if you're sick of being treated like a pawn in someone else's power game, say it loud. Wear it. Own it. Because this isn't about politics anymore. It's about survival. And in Australia, we bloody deserve better.